Hey everyone. So I realized that you guys are still working through your lunches and just wrapping up. I'd like to get the next presentation started. It's okay if you're still working on your lunches. There's lots of food back here, so help yourself. Before I introduce the next speaker, I just want to say that these presentations will be made available to you, either directly through me or through the speakers. We're also video recording the presentations and we'll make them accessible online. We're taking podcasts of the event as well, so in case you missed any things that you wanted to write down, make sure that you'll get a hold of it. So our next speaker is from the Green College Career Program, which is an initiative of the Toronto Renewable Energy Cooperative. Miss Anita Wong is the project coordinator there, and in the presentation she'll talk to you about jobs in the green environmental sector. So please welcome Miss Anita Wong.
Thank you everyone for coming, and thank you very much to Jason and University of Guelph for inviting me here. As Jason mentioned, do we need this? Can everybody hear me? No? Okay. So I'm the program coordinator for a program called Green Collar Careers, and I'm with the TREC Renewable Energy Cooperative. And today we're just going to talk a bit more about Green Collar Careers, some of the factors contributing to growth in the green sector, and then we'll look at some specific jobs and where to direct students from the various pathways from university to workplace. So just to give you guys a really quick context of who TREC is, has anybody been down to Toronto and seen a big wind turbine down by the lake? Yeah. Okay, so that's us. We build renewable energy cooperatives, and by that I mean that we allow members of the public, members of the community, to invest money and become part owners in renewable energy projects. So for example, that turbine down by the lake has 420 members of the community that are part owners of that wind turbine. And that was really important for us as an environmental nonprofit. We wanted to connect people with their energy use. We wanted to start that dialogue. So much in the same way that farmers markets kind of draw people in and give that people connection to their food, we wanted to start that dialogue and discussion about our energy use, our different forms of sources of energy, and the various positive and negative consequences to that. When it was completed in 2002, the wind turbine was the very first renewable energy cooperative in all of Ontario, and also the largest turbine in any city in all of North America. And there was quite a lot of excitement about it, and that really gave rise to TREC Education and our renewable energy education programs. So we work with grade school students and high school students. We deliver renewable energy, hands-on renewable energy workshops. We give renewable energy tours, and we also talk to students about green collar careers, green energy careers in particular. So about the Green Collar Careers program, we came online in 2009, and the idea was to bring students and industry together through engaging green sector co-op placements. What we recognized from being in the industry is that there was a serious demand for skilled workers in the green energy industry, and we wanted to get to students at an earlier age when they were starting to kind of make these really critical decisions about their career paths, and that's why we targeted high school students. In our first year, we've placed over 55 students and reached over 6,000 youth through workshops, outreach, through events, through conferences and career fairs, spreading the message about green jobs and the new opportunities in Ontario's green economy. Just to take a quick survey before I go on, how would you guys rate your own knowledge, I guess, of the green job sector and some of the changes that have happened in Ontario with regard to opportunities in the green industry? How many would say extensive knowledge? Okay, and how many would say limited? Okay, and so I guess some of you are in between. So the students, for those of you that said limited, are not too far behind you actually. When we first started the project, we went out and we were in various classrooms doing presentations. We asked 120 students to name 10 jobs, 10 occupations off the top of their heads. And keeping in mind that I have a big screen in front of me when I go into these classrooms. I've got a big wind turbine there, solar panels. I say, hey, I'm from the Renewable Energy Cooperative. We asked them to name any 10 jobs. Of those over 1,200 responses, 9 came out as green jobs, 6 came from the same student. So what we quickly discovered was that we were kind of in the right place and that this was, in fact, necessary. Okay, so why a green collar career? Well, simply put, environmental careers have been targeted as a high-growth industry. So with initiatives like the Green Energy and Green Economy Act, with various tower renewal retrofit projects, the Green Roof Bylaw in Toronto, and various changes to the Ontario Building Code, specifically with respect to energy efficiency and energy conservation, green jobs are on the rise. There was a really recent report released by the Mayor's Tower Renewal Project that talked specifically about the emerging demands for green infrastructure and green energy technology, and recognized that there was a serious lack of trained personnel able to meet those demands. Part of what the report said was, it concluded by saying that professionals in specific industries, or specific career fields, would increasingly need a better understanding of energy management practices if that demand was to be met. Some of the specific career fields that I was talking about were engineering and architecture and skilled trades. Similarly, in 2009, there was a poll taken of Canadian solar industries, and keeping in mind that 2009 was a rough economic year, and yet they anticipated a growth of over 101%. There was high demand in particular for trained personnel in installations, in design and integration, and also in project management. Does anybody here use OntarioJobFutures.ca, just out of curiosity? Okay. It's actually a great site, sometimes to direct students to. They can type in any occupation, and it will give them the job prospect or job potential for that occupation over the next 5 years in Ontario. So 2 of the up-and-coming industry sectors that have been highlighted are the environment sector and also green energy technologies. So this really has a lot to do with the Green Energy and Green Economy Act. This was an act that was passed in 2009, and its aim was to make Ontario the leader, the North American leader in clean green energy. So the project aims to eliminate coal as an energy source for Ontario by 2014 and provide a cleaner energy mix for the province. One of the cornerstones of this act is called the Feed-in Tariff Program, or FIT. And this basically allows both commercial developers and residential homeowners to build renewable energy projects and then sell the electricity that they produce back to the province at a set rate for over 20 years. And this is essentially basically a market mechanism or an incentive to increase the demand for renewable energy in Ontario. And what we've seen is that it's working really well. The renewable energy market in Ontario is getting stronger by the day. Another little clause of the Green Energy Act is something called the Domestic Content Regulation, which is a simple little rule that basically says if you do get a FIT contract, a certain percentage has to be made in Ontario by Ontarians. And this, again, has really big implications on the local economy. What we're basically seeing is a lot of manufacturing plants, solar, wind, coming out in various parts all across Ontario, like Windsor, Mississauga, Cambridge, and Guelph. Also, Guelph has a big solar plant opening up. Okay, so what we basically have is, I call it like a triple win situation. It's something that's good for taxpayers, good for economy,